You'd like a preview of Rudy Giuliani's legal defense. Here it is. I did it. That appears to be Rudy Giuliani's legal defense in the defamation case against Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. If you're not familiar, Rudy Giuliani, well, he did the classic, didn't he? See if I can pull this up right here and now. He did the classic move. It looked a little something like this. Who did it? Oh, it was a couple of black guys. Who's responsible for this thing you say happened? Ah, a couple of black folks, drug dealers probably. That's what Rudy Giuliani did. You know, in The Sopranos, how every time something bad happens and the person who did it doesn't want to own up for it, they blame it on a couple of black guys. Or, you know, how that happens occasionally in, where's that one place? Where's that one place where that oh, America. That's exactly what he did to Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. They're suing him for it, and it would appear he has no defense.
Rudy Giuliani is conceding now that he made false statements about two women who worked the 2020 election in the state of Georgia. That's from a court filing related to a lawsuit filed by the women who alleged they were harassed after Giuliani claimed they committed election fraud. They did not. In the filing, lawyers wrote Giuliani, quote, does not contest that to the extent the statements were statements of fact and otherwise actionable, such actionable factual statements were false. I'll translate that for you. He lied. Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss have said their lives were turned upside down when conspiracy theorists, as well as then President Donald Trump and his ally Giuliani, made those false allegations.
I mean, did you hear that mealy mouth language? Let's hold on. Defendant Giuliani, for the purpose of litigation only, does not contest that, to the extent the statements were statements of fact and otherwise actionable, such actionable factual statements were false. Boy, I'm gonna have to do some sort of a parody with this because Christ, that's a mouthful. What a way. What a way to live your life. What a way to say you lied. Let's just rip this Band-Aid off.
Against Freeman and her daughter, Rev. We know Ruby Freeman, Shay Moss, they testified before Congress about what they went through when they were blindsided by this, when Giuliani went public, when he went to the Georgia state legislature and made these totally invented claims that they were passing USB sticks between each other, caught on video with voter information. When they came out and said, no, I was passing her a mint, is what we were handing back and forth. But it's deadly serious that people were showing up at their houses, trying to push their way in. We want to find evidence of fraud. They were getting death threats. They quit their jobs. Maybe it was a game to Rudy Giuliani, but it was very real to Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman.
It was very real to these two women, and it was very real to many of those that were the believers of Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani. You must remember, Rudy Giuliani was a federal prosecutor, and after that, mayor of New York, and became America's mayor after 9/11. So someone with that kind of stature, you would not think, if you were some objective American, that why would he just fabricate these two women in Georgia working at the board? He must have some basis for this. You're not talking about an average Joe. This is a former federal prosecutor. And so when people reacted and responded, it really set these women on a course that was, how do they stand up against someone with that kind of stature, even though those of us in New York would have told them he was not all of that anyway. I mean,
This case is what got me realizing that we need actual, genuine, criminal consequences for this. I realize that Giuliani might be going to prison for January 6th. That's not enough. It's simply not enough. Good news if we can force our Department of Justice in the U.S. to actually be worth a damn. He's just admitted he lied. But we need some prosecution. This is probably not stochastic terrorism, because the intent of this might not have been to encourage violence. But this is right up there with the stochastic terrorism. I believe with a lot of the folks that Telltale Fireside Chat talks about, for example, the preachers, I believe they are trying to get violence done against this group of people. They need to be prosecuted as terrorists. However, Giuliani's conduct here, this has got to be at a minimum reckless endangerment. And as a society, we need to acknowledge that officially. We need to set the standard. When we say that we need to raise the bar in the United States, this is the kind of thing we're talking about. We need to define what behavior is unacceptable. We need to make it clear in a courtroom, not through civil lawsuits, but from our collective representation in the form of the U.S. Department of Justice. We need to make it clear that this behavior was criminal, and that anybody who does it is violating the law. They are violating the rules we agree to live by. You don't tell lies about people that you know will endanger them for the sake of political gain. You cannot do that. He's just admitted he knew he was lying. I think any reasonable person would expect that those lies would be endangering Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. If we do not want our elections to become a clown show, this needs to be handled as a criminal matter. In the VOD, there will be a link in the description. I recommend you tell the DOJ that's how you feel too.